Good evening, this is Jeff, Tommy, and Brooks coming at you a beautiful late July evening in Knox County. Just a beautiful day, evening. Just walking up here to do the video of the third series of using Premier One goat and sheep netting. Since I'm just going to get sheep, I'm just going to call it sheep netting. But yeah, essentially set this paddock up. They're 14-foot sections. That's 164 feet of Premier One sheep netting. It's kind of cumbersome to work with. My last video, I believe I showed stretching it out flat on short grass. If you've got some short grass in a pasture or a place you've mowed, it's kind of nice to stretch it out flat, get all the twist out of it. That way it doesn't tend to get all tangled up and twisted. But you can see the paddock that I set up here. It took me about 20 minutes. I did mow some lanes. Last evening I did a test run and did some things wrong and trial, and so I set it up just a little differently today. You can kind of see it here. It's in front of the barn here on the farm. A couple reasons I put it here. One is I want to keep a close eye. I can sit here in the morning and with my coffee and enjoy the new yearling or the weanling ewe lambs. I've got 2 of them coming, hopefully within the next several days. I'm going to check on them tomorrow to see when I can pick them up. But they'll go into this little, it's a 14-foot section, so there's 42, it's 42 by 42. And I just used these corner posts, little steel corner posts. This, like I said, this is my third series of this Premier One. I'm going to call it portable perimeter fence. I really don't have perimeter fence on the whole entire property to contain sheep and to control predators. I do have some coyotes and bobcats in this area. I'm not too worried about them on these yearling or these weanlings, lambs. But you know, coming May when I'm lambing, obviously I'm gonna have some predator protection. I don't plan on having a guard dog for a couple of ewes. I would like to build this flock up to 20 or so on this particular property before I go out lease any more property or something like that. I do have 8 acres here. This is just under 4 up here. That's basically a large paddock was a horse pasture for several years, but it's been left to go, just left growing for about at least 7 years. And so I do have some weed pressure, but I do have some seed bank here, obviously, where I've been mowing, keeping the weeds down. You've got some grass and white clover, and I've got plenty of grass here. If you look throughout here, even though there's weeds have kind of taken over, I do have plenty of grass, and this will become the winter stockpile. I don't plan on feeding anything but grass and water. You know, I do have some broadleaf grasses out here. I'm not as good as Greg Judy. I don't know all these types of grasses and things yet, but I can tell, you know, what's what and what's a grass and what's a weed or a forb, I guess, is the regen guys like to call weeds. I guess we'll find out soon enough what these sheep, these Katahdin cross ewes will eat on this little 42 by 42 paddock. I'll have to see. I'll probably plan on just giving them the whole thing the first day or so, just to knock down some of those tall weeds and see what they'll do to them. Incidentally, there's my fly trap. That fly trap, it works really well on those black flies. I just put a few pieces of sausage in that bottom tray a month or so ago. Pretty rank, but it is doing a nice job of catching black flies. But anyway, sorry to get sidetracked there. But yeah, this I'm gonna put them in here first couple days. I do have these 3 step ins. My theory is to put a poly wire across there to train them to a single strand poly wire. That's what my goal is for my moves. It'll be a lot easier to just do a move with a short little poly wire. That's a 2 minute wire move there. Yeah, just use these steel corner posts. I would suggest putting a little bit more of an angle on them than you think you're going to need, because when you stretch it tight, you do want it to be taut. One of the things I didn't like about what I saw about on YouTube about the Premier One is that it looks pretty droopy and saggy and kind of retentive here. So I like everything to look kind of neat, but I've got it stretched real nice with a 4 corner steel 4 corner post, and you can see it's nice and taut and straight and upright. And really, I'm just gonna have to move really 2 posts on every move, because I can leave, I'll have to move this one and that one as we move down this paddock. But I can leave these next 2 as the next 2 corners. Now, I'm just contemplating if I'm gonna have to have another 164 foot of fence. I think that's probably what I'll do. And I'll just put another paddock out in front of this one. I did mow some strips. It is 14 paces for me, which is 42 feet across here. I thought it was 16, but it's 14, so I mowed this in the wrong place. I do have my next one mowed down here where Brooks is. The goal is to kind of let this grass grow so that it'll become forage by the time we get the lambs in here, but it won't short out the fence. And stuff's a real pain to work in that tall grass. I tried that last night and it just didn't work well, so I decided to mow these paths. I've got a 60-inch finish mower. I just make a few passes and lower it each time. It's not ideal. I wish I had a brush hog for this project, but it works. It does a nice job. It's a Land Pride finish mower. I just make a few passes. You can see here the left side of the fence I just mowed today. The right side was mowed about a little over a week ago. It'll be 2 weeks on Sunday. I think I mowed it. You can see the grass and the weeds coming back. I think the lambs will really attack these, blackberry sprouts and these weeds. And so my goal here was to mow a couple of paths in front of the moves, and that way, that ground will look like, not like this, but more like this by the time we get this get the sheep down here. So give this a chance to grow back and grow some forage without some vegetation, without really shorting out the fence. You can see the carbon that's on the soil here, which is a good thing. They'll come down and track this in. Obviously this land has needed animal impact. Hasn't had any for several years, and now that I have my laying hens, my breast chicks, that'll become my American breast breeding flock, and these lambs that I'm going to be getting here soon, hopefully we can transform this pasture into a regenerative type pasture that is going to be something we can be proud of. Like I said, we do have plenty of grass, and I think there's, I know there's clover. There's some red clover right there that they're going to devour. I don't have too much clover. I think there's some more broadleaf grasses. I think that too much clover can be hard on sheep. They could bloat, from what I understand. My intention is to kind of do my YouTube mentor, Greg Judy. I've listened to hours of his videos on how he raises cattle and sheep. I don't intend to do anything with them except for give them plenty of grass and forage and water. I don't plan on feeding them hay. I'm gonna make sure I keep enough stockpile back for them. I do have about 4.5 acres of woods here that's really full of vegetation that I'll probably forage in the winter or late fall, before the all the vegetation goes out of the woods, and then come back up in here and feed them the stockpile here. My goal is to get, I don't know, I have to see, a two weanling ewe lambs born earlier this spring. I don't know how long it'll take them to put some pressure on this. This first rotation, I'll probably put a little more pressure on these paddocks than I will in the future. But I do want to put a good knocking on these weeds here and let them go after them and see if we can't get a lot of these weeds taken care of. I'm hoping they'll eat a bunch of them. I probably will come behind them with a brush with my mower just to knock down the weeds that they didn't eat, and just try to maintain and try to build this regenerative pasture here by controlling the weeds that way as well. So yeah, I just drove the 4 corner post to paste them off, tightened them up, and I've got this 42 by 42, I'm gonna call, like I said, a portable perimeter fence. And I may have to get 1 or 2 more to make this efficient. I'm thinking if I get 1 more, I can do enough. Basically, that would set me up for a full week. If I just move these this front fence and not back fence them, if I just set this 1 line of poly up and get them trained to that, I can move that 14 feet basically every day. And so that'll give me, that would give me 6 moves and 2 of these 42 by 42 paddocks. So that'll give me essentially a week of moves without moving the perimeter fence, which is the Premier One sheep netting. If I get the second section, I can set it up out here in front. I've got the gate over there in that corner. I can simply just open that gate, let them into the new paddock, the new 42 by 42, which would go right here. And then I can use these same corner posts, move those 2 corner posts down on that end forward, put them on this next end, and then just keep rotating this fence forward as I go around, make my rotations around this larger paddock here. There's probably at least three sections here to go across on this side. And I think, I don't know if I told you, but the reason I want to start here is so that I can keep a close eye on them the first week or so. I can sit here and enjoy my coffee in the morning and maybe a bourbon at night and sit here in the shade and just watch them and make sure they get acclimated okay the first several days they're here, and get them trained to that poly, 1 wire, 1 poly braid there with those posts in the middle there. And then I would like to do a market garden here, market style garden. No dig. I'll do probably 50-foot beds, 12-inch walkways with wood chips. I'll probably go from this post here, this gate post, across, all the way across here. This will be a nice lane in front of the barn here. But essentially where the fence is here now is where these market garden beds will start. I'll do 50 feet long, which would be just past the other side of the fence down there, past where Tommy is. So would be 8 feet longer than this fence here. So it'll go down to about where that area is mowed on the other side down there, where I messed up and put my path a little bit further away than I needed it. So this area here, I'll probably get I don't know, it's 42, so 30-inch beds with 12-inch walkways. So you guys can do the math. I'll probably get, what, 8 or 10 beds across here. So 50 feet long, 30-inch wide beds with 12-inch walkways. It'll be a nice market garden. It'll be up here away from the wildlife pressure. I can use, I can probably build a permanent fence around it is what I'll probably do. And I'll continue to build permanent fence on the property as I continue to grow the enterprise here. But got to start somewhere, folks. I found this Premier One a little cumbersome to work with at first. I didn't find a lot of instructional videos out there. I didn't look real hard, but I've seen a lot of people using it, but not really any really good instructional videos. So my suggestion would be to lay it flat on a long stretch and get it flat, and then you can just kind of pull it towards you without getting it all tangled up in the metal spikes and twisted and all that sort of thing. And yeah, it just takes a little while to get used to, but I think it's going to be nice. I think it's going to be strong enough to keep these sheep in. I'll keep it, you know, power on it, keep it electrified to keep predators out. It's probably going to take another section just to make these moves a little more practical, so that I can open a gate, move them into the next paddock, and then move this paddock, you know, one step further ahead, and just keep moving them that way. And I think I'll probably get, like I said, close to a week out of each one of those then, or I should say both of those. I'm thinking I'll probably get 3 or 4 days out of this paddock, but we'll soon to tell. I'll keep you guys posted on that, and to see, you know, kind of with this type of vegetation, what how long it lasts. A couple of ewe lambs, and we're not in a drought here like a lot of folks are, thank God. And we've had plenty of rain and plenty of vegetation, and I just can't wait to get these lambs in here to see what we can do to transform this farm. I'm anxious to show you guys what it looks like now versus what it's going to look like maybe this fall, after we make at least one pass through here or two. We will have to manage some stockpile, so I'll probably try to just hit this once throughout the rest of the summer, and then kind of go back and leave it go for the winter, and see if I can build some stockpile between now and October, when we get late October, when we get our first frost here. And hopefully between now and October, we'll be able to grow back a lot of the stuff that they'll eat down in this first pass around the farm between now and then. And then we'll have the rest of the winter to stock, or the rest of the year to stockpile this, so we have plenty of forage for them in the winter. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.